Russia continues to intensify its attacks on Ukraine. 47th day of this war and counting. Russia relentlessly bombing Ukrainian cities and intensifying attacks in country's eastern parts. In fact, we're looking at Russian troops who have attacked several buildings, runways that suffered extensive damage. Russian forces have attacked areas in Dnipro, Mykolaiv, Kharkiv. Across several regions over the last 24 hours, we're seeing constant bombing and shelling. Death toll has also increased to 57, while 109 were wounded in Kramatorsk train station there. Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has accused Russia of targeting European projects. He said that Russia's actions in Ukraine would lead to catastrophe and inevitably everyone in the region will be affected if Russia is not stopped now. Now, India Today is the only channel that is still covering the biggest global story here. Russia's invasion of Ukraine. India Today reports have been coming in right from ground zero of that war zone for 47 days straight and counting. Rajesh Pawar has now reached Dmitriivka. He sent us this exclusive, chilling ground report. Let's have a look.
This small town, Dmitriivka, is about 30 kilometers from Kyiv. Fierce fighting took place in this small town. And you see, we just saw a tank which isn't totally destroyed. This is a APC, armored personal carrier, probably had 10 people inside, and the whole thing is destroyed. It took an impact. The missile or the rocket hit right in the center of the thing, and everything in this was destroyed. You see what would have happened to people inside. It carries 8 to 10 people. And you see this. This is a skull which is left over of a human being now. And you see 2 bullet shots in the center, in the chest. And this remains of a human being now. You can't even identify that it's a human being. We did not even recognize it in the first go. We thought some debris. And look, that was 8 to 10 people in this, and what would have remained of them? The track is intact, but the whole APC, like the tank we just saw, is totally destroyed. And this is what war does to you. And the kind of anti-tank weapons which are being used today are so fierce, are so destructive in power, and this is what they make of steel. This is Rajesh Pawar for India Today from Dmitriivka. I'm right now in the small town of Stoyanka, which is about 30 kilometers from Kyiv, and behind me you can see a supermarket which has been completely devastated, completely destroyed in a missile attack from Russian forces. This is about 30 kilometers from Kyiv city, and the entire supermarket has been totally burnt out, totally destroyed. Rajesh Pawar from Stoyanka for India Today.
Now, the city of Mykolaiv has been destroyed completely by Russian troops. The city has been bruised, battered. Ukrainian troops are now leaving no stone unturned to give a befitting reply to invaders in Mykolaiv. They've seized more than 115 tanks and rural trucks with heavy ammunitions. India Today's exclusive report here coming in from that area where our reporter speaks to Sergeant Victor about the situation. Let's hear it.
This is a symbolic picture of how the Russian forces are facing a stiff, aggressive Ukrainian defense force. This is a Russian truck, Ural, that you see on which we are standing, and how this has been completely destroyed after being bombarded. This truck was actually heading to a Russian base point where it was carrying cruise missiles, a lot of ammunitions, almost 80 ammunitions that it was carrying to target Bashtanka village. village. And here you can see that these broken parts, these plates, of course, this has been sanitized, but 890 is the number that you see. Some signs of the manufacturing of this Russian truck that was carrying cruise missiles, we are told. And here on the tire, you can see that made in Russia, made in February 1995. So February 1995, made in Russian truck that is completely burnt. Right there, the steering wheel and the cabin completely destroyed. Here you can see that nothing is remaining. They had actually, the Ukrainian forces sanitized this entire area, and this is not the only truck. We are told that more than 160 arms, ammunition, tankers and trucks loaded with lot of heavy weaponry advanced towards Bashtanka village, which is a residential area. And when the Ukrainian forces actually detected this entire ammunition and this entire advancement of Russian troops, they were hovering around the airspace to bombard the Russian troops heading towards Bashtanka. You can see this is the door that is actually jutting out of this truck. And of course, the attempt by the Russian forces was actually defunct because of the alertness of the Ukrainian forces, who did air raids only after the Russian troops were fleeing. This truck was also fleeing from the location, but before that it met its fate. And here India Today, in fact, is the only Indian crew to reach Bashtanka, which is on the outskirts, far away from Mykolaiv. But all the entire region of Mykolaiv is facing a lot of fire, a lot of battle, combat on the periphery, because the Russians are just on the doorstep at Kherson, and they want to take Mykolaiv, which is the last barrier standing, to capture the entire southern part of Ukraine and cut it off from the sea. With video journalist Parminder Sharma, getting you all the ground reports from the war zone in Mykolaiv and Ukraine for India Today.